They called him a golfer, not a footballer. Gareth Bale, one of the most talented players of his generation, went from hero to villain in the eyes of many at Real Madrid. Despite his iconic goals and winning trophies on the biggest stages, something started to unravel behind the scenes. I've always felt bad for him. Here's a guy who gave it his all, but still couldn't escape the criticism. Do you think Bale was treated unfairly? Let's get straight into the issues that define Bale's controversial journey with Los Blancos. Initial success at Real Madrid. When Gareth Bale joined Real Madrid in 2013, he was seen as the perfect addition to a superstar squad. His blistering speed and skill amazed fans, and he delivered unforgettable moments. From his legendary solo goal against Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final to his crucial header in the Champions League, Bale helped secure La Decima. I remember watching those moments in awe, thinking he was destined for greatness. It's tough to see how quickly things changed after all that brilliance. It feels like a missed opportunity, and honestly, I personally feel sad for him. Injury struggles and inconsistent form. Bale's injury record became a nightmare, not just for him, but for the club and fans too. It felt like every time he started building momentum, he would pick up another knock. Muscle strains, ankle injuries, you name it, he seemed to go through it all. This constant stop and start hurt his performances. On his best days, Bale was unplayable, but those days became fewer and further apart. As a fan of football, it was frustrating to see such a talented player not being able to stay on the pitch. I also feel for him though. Imagine working your whole life to reach this level, only to have your body betray you again and again. Still, Real Madrid is not the kind of club that waits around. The fans and management started losing patience, and honestly, you could feel the tension growing. Strained relationship with Zinedine Zidane. The tension between Bale and Zidane was like an open secret. Zidane clearly did not see him as a key player, and that must have stung. Being benched for big games is hard enough, but then hearing your manager say publicly that the club is trying to get rid of you, that is another level of awkward. I remember thinking, why is this playing out so publicly? It was messy and unnecessary. Bale probably felt disrespected, and you could see it in his attitude on the pitch. But from Zidane's perspective, he had a vision for the team, and Bale was not part of it. That kind of professional clash is not unusual in football, but it is heartbreaking when it happens to a player of Bale's caliber. Media scrutiny and fan criticism. If you thought the injuries and managerial issues were bad, the media pressure was worse. The Spanish press seemed to have it out for Bale. Every little thing he did or did not do became a headline. The fans were not much kinder. That Wales, golf, Madrid flag moment might have been funny to some, but in Spain it was taken as a huge insult. Personally, I think it was blown way out of proportion. Sure, it was a bit cheeky, but did it really deserve the backlash he got? The constant criticism had to weigh on him. No matter what he achieved on the pitch, it felt like he could never fully win over the Madrid fan base. That kind of negativity can drain anyone, and you could see it in his body language toward the end. The golf controversy. This part honestly makes me laugh a little. Who knew liking golf could be so controversial? Bale's love for golf became a running joke in the Spanish press, but it was not just harmless teasing. They painted him as someone more interested in golf than football, which was not fair. Yes, he played golf during his free time. So what? It is not like he was skipping training to hit the links. But the narrative stuck, and fans latched onto it. The whole golfer label turned into yet another way to criticize him. I feel like this was such a non-issue that got blown out of proportion. Bale never understood why people cared so much, and honestly, neither do I. Communication barriers. Language barriers are tough, especially in a high-pressure environment like Real Madrid. Bale never became fluent in Spanish, and that definitely hurt his relationships with teammates and fans. It is easy to say, why did he not just learn the language? But learning a new language while dealing with injuries, criticism, and the pressure of playing for Madrid is not as simple as it sounds. Still, this gap made him feel more isolated. Watching him on the sidelines or in interviews, you could sense that he was never fully part of the group. That must have been a lonely experience for him, and it is something that makes the story even more tragic. Contractual and financial tensions. Then there was his contract, probably the biggest elephant in the room. Bale's wages were astronomical, and while he earned them with his early performances, they became a problem as his role in the team diminished. Real Madrid wanted to move him on, but his salary made it almost impossible to find a buyer. Bale was not willing to take a massive pay cut, which is understandable. He signed a deal, and he was entitled to see it through. But from the club's perspective, they were stuck paying a player they were not even using. It was a frustrating situation for everyone involved, and it felt like a relationship that had run its course but could not end. Love him or hate him, Gareth Bale's journey at Real Madrid left an undeniable mark on football. The question is, was his fallout inevitable, or could it have been avoided? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel,